let's talk about the issue of retail theft. We call it shoplifting, the five-finger discount. It is theft under the Crimes Act. And retail theft, most certainly, and we've covered this before on the program, is a growing issue and problem in New Zealand. How big a problem? Well, to find out that, I thought we should speak to someone who represents our retail sector. Carolyn Young from Retail New Zealand joins us now. Carolyn, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for coming on the platform.
Morena, and Happy New Year.
All right. Retail theft. And is that the right technical term for what we would commonly call shoplifting?
Look, it kind of is at various different levels. We kind of just talk about retail crime, covers shoplifting, theft and robbery.
Okay.
They're just kind of different police levels in terms of...
and robbery is with violence or the threat of violence, right?
Correct, that's correct.
Okay, so shoplifting, or the five-finger discount as it's colloquially known of, is a more... I guess it's more kind of a crime of deception where you hope you don't get caught because you're being sneaky. Has that been on the rise in New Zealand in recent years?
Certainly in recent years we've seen an increase in retail crime.
Right.
It's estimated at over $2.6 billion a year.
Whoa, that is not an insignificant amount of money.
It's not an insignificant number, is it? No. And one of the things that, I've been asked recently is, what does the face of crime look like? Well, it's any gender, any age, any ethnicity, any background. You can't say this is the face of retail crime. It's anybody across the whole community.
Okay. Does Retail New Zealand have a recommended, if you like, set of policies or policy settings for retailers who are confronted with this sort of challenge? For example, what would your advice be on whether or not shops insist that someone be prosecuted?
We recommend that every incident of retail crime is reported to the police, and we encourage, because the only way you can actually really understand the full extent of the level of retail crime in New Zealand is to have it all reported and have it go through the system. If you decide not to report it, then it's not putting a deterrent against people doing the incorrect thing.
Okay,
so
and obviously,
everyone to report.
Obviously, your members can't decide whether or not someone gets prosecuted or goes to court. That's in the police. But you're saying it's zero tolerance as far as your recommended position is zero tolerance as far as reporting alleged crimes is concerned.
Everything should be reported, yes. And the police agree with that. They want everything to be reported, and they're doing a really amazing job with the resources that they have. What we are saying is that we want to see more resources within the police to help, to help reduce the systemic problem that retail crime has become.
Okay. Obviously, there are other methods or methodologies for retailers to adopt. Surveillance cameras, and in recent events that have made the news, surveillance cameras were very much part of the story. Is there an increase in the number of shops and the number of retailers using cameras and closed-circuit television to monitor their premises?
As the years go on, there's more and more technology and different ways in which you try and combat retail crime, and CCTV is one of those mechanisms. And yes, you're right. More and more people, more and more stores have CCTV within their stores is one of the things that they use, including having good staff training around identifying behaviours and people that are coming into the store that look like they're going to create trouble for you, making sure that you front foot all of those things. It's a whole thing about if you can get in front of it rather than react to it, then you're more likely to be able to stop someone actually taking something from your store. Yeah.
Carolyn, I've just got a text through from Tom, who I think is a little incredulous. He said, Sean, was that billion with a B when you said 2.6 billion a year in losses from retail crime?
Yes, I should say it a little bit slower. $2.6 billion.
Billion. Tom, it is billion. It was a B. You can get up off your stool, off the floor now, having fallen off your breakfast stool. Okay.
It is quite first thing in the morning.
It is quite a stunning figure. Look, in terms of shoplifting, and there was an interesting social media post from lawyer Stephen Franks last night that said there is a defence, and certainly when he was a young lawyer working in criminal cases, there was this defence or an acceptance. And I'm going to have to couch this so carefully so I don't get accused of being a woman hater. There is an accepted, or when he was a young lawyer, there was an accepted defence for women 40 years plus who inexplicably shoplifted. There were pleas and mitigation, and it was a recognised phenomenon. Can you speak to that? Whether or not
that would be something you'd need to speak to the police department about. The police commissioner can perhaps offer greater light on that. I'm not aware of anything like that.
All right, but your organisation's position is someone flogs something from a shop, is involved in retail crime. It's really the retailers should go to the police and report it. What happens after that? Up to the authorities. All right. What about if you're in a shop? And I thought about this because there's also been some discussion about who might have been with someone who allegedly committed a crime. If you're in a shop and you see someone nicking something, what should you do?
Report it to the staff.
Okay. And rather than confront the person yourself.
Look, as much as we know that people have been affronted by what they've seen, there was a report last year where the editor of the NBR had tried to stop someone at the shoplifting at a supermarket.
Todd Scott's, yeah.
The big challenge with that is that you don't know how someone's going to react, and the key thing that we always want to really focus on first and foremost is health and safety.